But here we go. We are getting into our... Oh my god, have I never cast on this map before? It's very green. Jesus. But we are loading into Antimatter and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Antimatter. We have our German Protoss player, our green Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumy. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chat as we are spawning into Antimatter for the first time. I've never cast on this map. We have a pocket expansion. It is going to be, of course, you can gain access to this via these mineral patches. There are slow zones and rocks as well towards the south side, so there's quite a lot to work through depending on how we wanted to expand later on in the game and take a fourth base. We do have our pocket. Likewise, we have our natural base here as well on the right hand side, so we have a pretty secure 3-base setup here in our corner of the map. This is a large map of the map pool, very macro oriented, but oh, let's go. We have the Shazam logo. We have the lightning bolt. Beautiful. It looks quite sick, actually. I'm loving the effect. But this is the Shazam map. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish that this lightning bolt was visible on the minimap. That'd be ideal. Meanwhile, we have our linear fourth base on the right hand side. Likewise, looking pretty secure here. We have a choke point on the right. Likewise, we have our ramp coming in between the bases here towards the triangular third base. Likewise, more rocks, more ramp. We do have an entry point towards the left hand side. I believe that is not a ramp, just a regular attack path here towards that fourth. But in general, it does feel like more of a macro map where it does feel a little bit more defendable here on 4 bases. The bases are a little bit more spread out, that is true. But we'll see how our players will approach this. As ooh, Solar, he does go for a very fast third base. He actually cancels. He skips his second queen. So he skips the second queen, gets a much faster expansion. I mean, greed is the name of the game here on this map. I appreciate that the players are also saying interesting. I mean, there's a lot like there's a lot to go to like get into here when it comes to the third base, the fourth base, the slow zones, the rocks, the mineral patches. We got a gold over here. Played one so far. There you go. Oh no, Jumy. Oh no. It's okay. You'll be. It's okay, Pappy. It's okay. Oh, they can bond. They can bond against Terran. Oh yeah. Feels Terran, man. Panel versus Metavax. I mean, I think what I said before here is applicable to that when it comes to how spread out the bases are. Because the bases are more spread out, I'm referring to like Abyssal Reef, for example. Abyssal Reef, the bases are so congested, they're so close together. Here, because of how spread out they are, it can be more difficult to keep up with something like drop play. I can definitely see that happening. But we'll see. We'll see how we open up. So far, Stargate open out of Jumy. Again, a secured expansion, so Jumy just rushes into his third. So it's going to be a gate into Stargate into Nexus. So a very greedy build here by Jumy. Very greedy. Now, because of how, I'll be honest, because of how defendable this map feels, or how easy it is to get into a 3-way setup initially, especially when it comes to certain matchups, I don't know if this map is going to get a lot of votes, but we'll see. Just because I know that a lot of, I feel like a big sentiment currently for map makers and the map community is to make maps a little bit smaller, to make them more punishable as well. You know, a big sentiment was to try and trying to avoid like turtle games and more turtle styles. This is also why there was like a big outcry against maps like Abyssal Reef and Neo Violet Square and King's Cove. You know, those 3 maps are, you know, very, very like they do favor turtle play quite a bit. And why it was so controversial that those 3 maps were chosen to be in the map pool. Jesus, I was rushing into Skytoss. Oh my god. And Solar Scouts, by the way, he does see the Cyber Core, sees that Warp Gate is done, and sees it researching. So that's a big tell, a big sign for Solar, as the Jumy is just rushing into Tempest, or into Carrier, as the Stargates are on the way. Overlord Scout is denied, but the Lings, they see everything. And what do we have? Lair. Lair's on the way. Oracle dips in, gets zoned back. And due to the scout, we should be seeing a Spire, I would imagine, from Solar. He could try to go for a Hydra Den, but because the map is so large, I don't really see Hydra pushes working out too well here. So Queen Corruptor should be the go-to. Void Ray moves out. Void Ray does move out. He's going to be deflected. Behind this, the layer is now done, and we're waiting for either the Spire or the Hydra Den. Show us what you got. Spire. Yep, Spire's on the way. As we mentioned, Hydras don't make a lot of sense on this map. If this was a smaller map, then a Hydra Den would make more sense when it comes to trying to kill the Protoss before they build up any carriers. But the map is just so large and so defendable here on this 3-base setup that Hydras wouldn't really be as viable. So it's going to be Queen Corruptor. Queen Corruptor here from Solar. Lings, they poke in. They're checking for any 4th bases. Yo, there's a bunch of like red areas on the map. I don't know what they're color coded here to this ramp, actually, this ramp visual. It's this ramp, and this ramp here under the mineral patches on the minimap. I don't know if you can see, but because that, it makes it like, I look at the minimap, I'm like, oh, are their Lings ready for a run by? Cause Solar's red. So yeah, for whatever reason, these ramps they show red on the minimap, which is a little bit jarring as a caster. As someone who's trying to like see where the Lings are and where they're headed. Yeah, there's like other little red spots as well. They're not the slow zones. They're not the yeah, there's whatever's here. Interesting. But Jumy's crazy. Jumy, he sneaks all the way around. He's going for the 4th, going for the gold even. Likewise, making 3 carriers at a time. Meanwhile, Solar, he's already producing Corruptor. Again, as we mentioned before, he's already aware of the commitment into Skytoss. He doesn't get confirmation, though, of the main. So, for all he knows, it could be, like, initially some Skytoss into a charge follow-up. Classic did popularize going for that kind of fake-out and trying to force an overreaction. This is also why we have Roach Speed on the way. Again, it is not uncommon to open up even 1 Stargate, make, like, 2-3 Tempests, and then go into charge. As a follow-up instead, into a ground composition. So right now, Solar, he's playing safe, he's playing blind. That's why he's investing into those roaches, just in case he needs to. Meanwhile, Ling, Corruptor moves out, and this base is so isolated. How do we save this expansion? Jumy being too greedy. Yeah, Lings have arrived, the rocks have not been knocked down, and the base should be cancelled. Carriers, they can try to respond, but they're Corruptors, and yeah, he's gonna cancel. Like, there's... does it let it finish? Ooh, okay. Does cancel the expansion. Jumy is contained on 3 bases. Again, he just was being a little bit too greedy. He's not set up to actually protect and take that 4th. Corruptors, they rotate. They do rotate on over. Creep is spreading, and so far Solar, he's checking for the 4th. I mean, he has a Ling in position. There's no other 4th on the way. Corruptors, they go for the dive, and the carriers are so exposed. Yeah, 1 carrier goes down. Void Rays, they will deter. They will zone back the Corruptors. But at least now Solar sees the army. Now he sees the army for the first time. He's fully aware of the Skytoss. Ideally, behind this, we see an Infestation Pit in towards Hive Tech. It's not working towards Vipers. And Spellcasters in general. Jumy, he is contained. Is taking that 4th base. Fourth base is on the way. Looks like they tried to increase the minimap brightness factor. I see. But yeah, the minimap on this, specifically on anti-matter, is a little bit jarring because of that. Just a small critique, just regarding the visuals. You know what, that's a lot of Void Rays. Ooh, activation of the Prismatic Alignment a little bit late. 1, 2, 3, Void Rays going to be going down. Yeah, some rough losses there for Jumy. But so far, he does maintain that 4th. He's trying to hold on. Trying to maintain. Things, they do dive on top of that pylon, and Corruptors once again, they reset the the carrier count. The carriers are going down, the Void Rays as well, and Jumy will lose everything. GG gets called, and Solar takes a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Jumy, he attempted to rush into Sky Toss, but he ran into a problem when it came to the 4th base. Again, the greed was insane, rushing into the gold as a 4th. We saw that he wasn't really set up to defend it. Again, he had not knocked down those rocks, he had not knocked down or broken or even mined through the minerals, so his ground army couldn't really support. Likewise, neither could his Sky Toss because of the scout. Because Solar had seen the Cybercore early on, he reacted with the Spire, he had plenty of Corruptors, and Jumy, he was just contained on 3 bases there. He just could not defend that 4th base. A little bit too greedy, a little bit too cheeky there by Jumy, didn't get away with it, and that leads us here into game number 2. As a reminder, it is going to be loser's pick, so it is up to Jumy to decide on the map where we're dropping, where we headed. Pressure is now on Jumy. Just catching up. He dropped the Roach Horn in response. Wonder if he thinks it's a fake. If you scout Skytoss, it's usually wise to throw down a Roach Horn. As we were mentioning during the game itself, it is not uncommon to open Stargate, to open Tempest even, and to reinforce with and to go for a hard switch into charge lots, or into a gateway-based composition. That's a style that Classic did popularize. I want to say like back in, was it like 2 years ago now? Back in like GSL in November, maybe in last year, maybe in the last GSL. I'm thinking, I think it was in 2023. But yeah, like that's not an uncommon style, so that's why Solar, he was even investing into those upgrades. He didn't make any roaches because he found out he didn't need them, but typically is wise to just have that just as a safety precaution. But now though, we are getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Persephone, we have our German Protoss player, our green Protoss, representing Streamer Zone down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Jumy. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself, representing Team Falcons, leading the series 1-0. It is Solar. Question: when are the maps intended to be released to the ladder? So right now, when it comes to the time schedule, right now we're still in the voting phase. And voting is still open, by the way, so you can still vote on your favorite map, on which maps you want in the map pool. I say that it isn't strictly like ESL. They look at the placements of TLMC and they pick the top maps, but they take that into consideration when it comes to which maps they add to the ladder map pool. So voting is still open. Voting closes at the end of the week. It closes at the end of the week, and then votes are tallied, and then probably next week we'll probably get the finalists and the results coming in and the winners of TLMC. After that, it's up to ESL. I think we're still waiting for the next season of EPT, and we're waiting for the next season in StarCraft, so we can only kind of hazard a guess. I would imagine that the new map pool would most likely be... Actually, I was going to say the new map pool would be introduced before the next big tournament, but at the same time, the current ladder map pool that we're in is relatively new. Like, right? It's like the most recent ladder map pool came in, what, November of last year, right? Like November of last year, during the beginning of the off season. So it's relatively new. I know there's old maps in it, and there is still a chance that maybe the current map pool that we're in is only designed for the off season, not for the next year of StarCraft, and I do hope that's the case. I hope that the current map pool that we're in is only for the off season. The current ladder map pool, I mean, is only for the off season, and we do plan on refreshing it. But we'll see as Jumy's rushing to the gold. Let's go! As Jumy, he's going for an insanely fast third as the goal. He's crazy, Bob. He's crazy. Let's go. So, insane greed out of Jumy, rushes into the gold. This should be for Twilight Council into charge lot, right? Take advantage of the... never mind. Stargate opener. Okay. Okay, Jumy. Let him cook. Let him cook, Bobby. Let him... I feel like the pizza might have gotten into his head a little bit. I'll be like, oh no. Oh no. Let's go. I've had similar appearances on the minimap of one of my darker maps. Yeah, when it comes to antimatter, I think that's the only map where I have an issue with the minimap, is specifically that map and the minimap, but I don't think I think all the other maps seem fine, at least when it comes to the coloration on the minimap itself. You know, Solar coming with the Overlord Scouts. Overlord dips in and gets eyes on the Stargate. Gets eyes on the Stargate, gets eyes on the Void Ray Opener. Jumy with this trying to deny vision, deny scouting. Solar currently in the dark. Everything so far looks pretty normal. So far looks standard. As workers are building up. Recall was just used to reinforce. Taking advantage of... Oh, Batista rushing into... Okay, rushing it. I mean, he's trying to make it look normal, right? So he does take another Nexus. Solar, he doesn't scout. But the third base is on the way. This is more or less on time. True. Don't be suspicious. But the greed is crazy. From here, a good way to make use of these gold minerals would be for, yeah, Forge for +1, Twilight Council into charge. I would imagine this should be a charge follow-up. That would make the most sense. As he has not taken his gases. No gases at the natural. Of course, no gases at the gold base either. So we should be going for a charge timing. And currently, Solar, he has no idea. He has no idea. Again, when it comes to the features of this map, there are some speed zones here across or leading into that gold. Likewise, there are rocks and more speed zones. There's a healing pad right next to it. We have Solar going and rushing into Overlord speed. This is interesting. So, on the one hand, this map is pretty direct. It's pretty direct and pretty short rush distance by ground as well. Getting into Overlord speed, I'm leaning towards potentially an all-in, but there's another expansion on the way. We'll see if Solar commits with a Drop Lord all-in. I'm waiting to see. I mean, the layer's about to finish, and then we can morph in the Drop Lords. Yeah. Roaches are on the way. Solar, he's committing, and Jumy's not ready. Jumy, he's not ready for this. Here we go. The Drop Lords are coming. The Roachlings are massing up. Solar, he cuts workers at 55. It is going to be a sub 3 base all-in, basically like 2.5 bases of saturation and nothing but roaches, lings, and queens. And here it comes. And as Solar's all-inning, Jumy's been greedy. He's been quite greedy here, getting another expansion. Gateway Explosion still on the way. Jumy has almost nothing to defend. He's got a couple of slow lots. He's got a couple of adepts. Here comes the all-in from Solar. Solar has no idea what's been going on, but it all lines up. It all lines up here for Solar as he's about to knock Jumy down. Stasis up. Nice stasis. Stasis goes off in the lings. So the queens are dropped off. Overlords, they can spread creep. They can transfuse. Jumy charged about to finish up in a couple of seconds. Is it going to be enough? That's a lot of charge lots. And the gateways do finish. Gateways, they finish up. Jumy, can he shut this down? He's getting us up with the queens. Getting us up with the queens just in time. Again, he has a boosted economy. He has extra zealots. And Jumy, he's holding. But Jumy, he holds on, he shuts down the queens one after the other, cleans up the army, and Jumy, he's done it. He survives the all-in, just barely. Again, the stasis bought a lot of time, cannons did finish up as well, and Jumy, he's here to snowball out of control. He's ready, and again, Solar, he has no economy. He was all-in, the all-in failed, and now it's time for the counter all-in. Jumy with nothing but charge lots, let's go. He gets on top of the roaches. Will knock him down. Void Ray coming into play as well. There's only 3 queens. They're being focused down as well. Oh, as they will focus down the Void Ray. Roaches are building up. Solar, can he hold on? He needs a little bit more time building up more roaches. Reinforcements, they take a long time to get across the map. Prism just arrived. And we need those Zealots. We need those Zealots as quickly as possible. The longer this goes on, the better it's going to be. Actually, I was going to say the better it's going to be for Solar, but at the same time, the gold base is a big factor as well. And Jumy, he can afford a lot of Zealots. Speaking of, they get on top of the fourth. Fourth base is going to go down. Likewise, warping into the main. Ooh, is denied. Warping is denied. Expansion should go down, but doesn't. Zealots are on A move. There, they try to retarget. No, Jumy! He was on A move. He was on A move. He gets forced back. Again, the roaches, they kind of force the aggro into themselves from the Zealots. And the hatchery survives. The hatchery does survive. And as the roaches build up, they are outscaling the charge lots. And Solar, he's done it. He holds, he defends, he saves the expansion. It's time for round 2, this time with even more roaches. Now Jumy, he's going to have 2 Immortals. The Immortals will help, but is it enough? That I'm not so sure about. Yeah, Solar, he just has so many roaches here. He has how many? 40! 40 roaches, not an Immortal! 40 roaches, the Immortal goes down. Bit of missed movement there from Jumy as he's trying to rush across the map, but the Immortal's getting caught out. Ah, no. The Immortal gets caught out. Zelsa get across the map. They do try to focus down the Roach Warren. But Solar, he holds. He holds back at home. He knocks down the expansion. Zelsa do warp into the main. A lot of damage is being done, but the Roach Warren gets saved. And Solar, he's defending. Yeah, Solar, he's defending back at home. We get another warp in. Jumy gets supply block, doing everything he can. Getting on top of the Queens. Getting on top of the Queens, and likewise getting more economic damage. At the same time, though, Solar, he just breaks through that front door. Depowers the Robos. I mean, sure, Jumy has a ninja base, I guess. Does recall back home. Storm is done, but Roaches, they're tanky. They can tank those storms. They can tank those. Oh God, Jesus! They can take a storm or 2 to the face. Still does a lot of damage. Oh my God! As Roaches, they kite back. They take another storm. Running out of cells though, getting on top of those High Templar. Yeah, still a decent trade here from Solar. And he's still rallying. He's still just rallying across the map. He still has enough to break through. Jumy microing his heart out. Nexus is gonna fall. It was a chaotic back and forth. Again, shout to Jumy for rushing into the gold and making use of it. And Solar, he backs off. For all he knows, he knocks Jumy down to 1 base economy. Oh, he's checking. He's checking. No, he's like, hold up. Why are you still in this game? What's going on? Oh, I see. Dusk got the gold. And he's here to knock it down. He's here to knock it down as well. Speed zone's coming into play. They'll say charge in. Not bad. Links every camping in the mineral line. They'll say chase down the roach. Jesus. They chase down the roaches. We'll chase him down. And Jumy, he will barely hold on to the expansion. Does hold. But last, again, the economy's in shambles. He's doing what he can. Does transfer some workers. Solar still building up his Roach Ravager. Jumy is down to 1 Immortal, 1 Archon. He has a lot of storms. True. There's a lot of storms. And with some well-placed storms, he can maybe take a fight. Oof. That tempo goes down. Storm's not looking too bad. Softens up some of the Roaches. But there's just no buffer. There's no support here. It's just purely High Templar and Immortals. GG gets called. Solar, he breaks through. And Solar will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Solar. He will claim the series, will advance on to the grand finals. But a shout out to Jumy here for making it to those semis. And again, did make for some interesting games and some interesting play styles. Was definitely an interesting setup there. As Solar does make it to the grand finals, and we are getting ready here for the lower semis. It is going to be a best of 3 between Geralt and Bjorn. Let's go.